Welcome once again to the Wrestling Trivia Challenge. I am, of course, your host, professional wrestler Henry Huge-Pecs, the Suplex-Throwing human duplex, aka Malcolm Trivens, and thank you all for tuning in to episode number 3. So let's dive right in. Joining me this week, he is now a 2-time trivia champion from the Rundown Wrestling podcast. Welcome back to the show, our reigning, defending trivia champion, Sal. And Sal, would you care to once again plug the rundown for anybody watching at home?
I would. Before I do that, I don't think I'm a 2-time champion. I don't think anybody has defeated me yet, so I'm still on my first title reign. I'm a 2-time winner.
That's fair.
I'm a 2-time winner.
That's fair.
But in order to be a 2-time champion, you have to lose the belt, and I haven't lost it yet. So
very good. I appreciate the clarification.
Also, yes, check out the Rundown Wrestling podcast for all of your wrestling needs. We cover NXT, WWE, sometimes, AEW, NXT UK, Stardom over Japan. We have a bunch of other extra shows, like my shows where I cover Survivor Series, even though I'm not looking forward to recording the 1994 episode, and NXT TakeOver, which those are a lot more fun to cover.
Oh, yes, I can imagine. Well, on that note, actually, because Sal, you do the AEW Rundown, the challenger this week actually has a connection to AEW, which I'll get to in just a minute, because your challenger this week from the Stranger Rings podcast, would you please welcome to the show Tom? And Tom, please, by all means, tell the viewers out there all about Stranger Rings, because I'm a big fan of this podcast.
Thank you. Me and my good friend Corey have been doing a show for about 1.5 years now, where we cover the stranger things in professional wrestling, really the out there characters, weird things that have happened, and sometimes we cover some good stuff too. Recently we just did an episode on the Pile Driver album that was a lot of fun, where we covered some recent stuff too, but basically a lot of Coco Beware, so which is always nice. But we
good
actually
voice.
just did an interview with Maddie Rankowski, who's been wrestling on AEW for the past few months, and she was just an excellent guest, and we had a great time. So that's the most recent thing that we've done.
Very cool. Yeah, and before we started here, I was giving you props for that interview with Maddie Rankowski, because I only really knew her from the match she just did where she filled in for Anna Jay, who just got injured. But hearing her, talk about her reality star persona, Miss Reality. And I was saying to Tom as well that we kind of bonded, or I emotionally bonded with Maddie over the fact that we both love the Popeye's chicken sandwich. So, Sal, if you haven't had that, you should, by the way.
I haven't. I will seek out a Popeye's just to have it.
Yeah, there aren't too many up in New England, I don't think, actually, but we got a couple down here. But yeah, the interview with Maddie Rankowski was really great. Also, and you guys did a Worst of Wrestling this week too with Giant Gonzalez and The Undertaker, which I also highly recommend. So again, I'm a big fan of Stranger Rings. I was put onto you guys by William Rankin, who was really a big advocate for you on Twitter. William Rankin, obviously a friend of the Raw Attitude podcast. I've had him on a couple times from the New Blood Rising podcast. So I'm really glad he advocated for you guys, and I'm a subscriber. I listen every time one comes out. So I'm very much looking forward to it, or looking forward to what you guys have in store, I should say, in addition to the great stuff you've already churned out. So on that note, are you both ready to kick into the show?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. Then that is what we'll do. But first, what I'll say is, much like Tom, if you would like to be a contestant on the Wrestling Trivia Challenge, you know what to do. Reach out to me on Twitter at Raw Attitude Pod, and I will add you to the ever-growing list of challengers. And as always, if you've watched the show in the past, we're going to start with our first round, which is called Listomania. And in case you need a reminder on how the game is played, I give the contestants a topic, and they must then take turns listing answers one at a time. As soon as an incorrect answer is given or the contestant times out, that contestant is out for the round, and his opponent will be given the chance to provide as many as 3 more answers. Each answer in this round is worth 1 point, and you will have 10 seconds to provide an answer before you run out of time. So I just want to make sure, clear on the rules, we're good to go?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
All right. Fantastic. So we'll start with the first one. And Sal, obviously, as the reigning champion, you will get to go first. So your topic this week, or your first topic, I should say, because we do have 2. Your first topic this week, 23 different wrestlers have faced The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And I will say one of them was a tag team, so I would need the names of both of those people to get full credit. So 23 different people. You will have 10 seconds each to answer. And Sal, we will start with you.
Let's get that tag team out of the way. Big Show and A-Train.
There you go, of course. The most memorable opponent, clearly. And back to you, Tom.
Triple H.
Triple H, yes. The most fought by The Undertaker 3 times. The only one he faced 3 times. Back to you, Sal.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels, there you go. And probably the second most because he faced him twice. So there we go. Back to Tom.
I'm going to get some heat for saying this one, but Jimmy Snuka.
That's right. The first one, I believe. Right? Yeah, he was first, I think. Yeah.
I think so.
That's correct.
Yeah, he was number 1. And back to Sal.
Kane.
Kane, yes, twice. Also twice
as well. Yeah.
I think we've gotten everybody so far that he's faced more than once at a WrestleMania. So the rest will all be one-offs. So back to Tom here.
The Big Boss Man.
Yes, there you go. As covered on the Raw Attitude podcast. Not a great match. And back to Sal.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Jake the Snake Roberts. That was the one in my head where I was like, wait, Jake wasn't first. No, he was definitely the second one. So yes, you are correct, Sal. And back to Tom.
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns, yes. I think one of only 2 to actually beat him. Right? Yeah, it's just him and somebody else. So back to you, Sal.
Who is that? Someone else. Brock Lesnar.
Correct. And we watched that one together.
We did.
Sal, you and I, we watched that one. Back to Tom.
John Cena.
John Cena, yes, correct.
Oh,
a very brief match, a very brief one with a really strong buildup of Cena doing all the work. And back to Sal.
You brought it up because it was on Tom's podcast. Giant Gonzalez.
There you go. Good call. You guys are just listing like all the worst opponents first, basically. No, back to Tom.
Batista.
Batista is correct. Yes. And back to Sal.
As much as it pains me to say this, King Kong Bundy.
Yeah. At some might say the worst WrestleMania of all time, Sal. Maybe you can back it up on that because you've seen them all, I know.
I would agree.
There you go. And back to Tom.
Mark Henry.
Mark Henry is correct. Yeah. Good. I definitely would have forgotten that one. That's for sure. And Sal.
One of my favorites, CM Punk.
Yes, big time. I remember a lot of people thinking he should have won that year, but he did not. And Tom again.
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt, yes. I believe the year after the streak ended.
Correct.
And back to Sal.
Diesel.
Diesel is correct. Very good. Yes, Nash was out the door a few months later. Back to Tom.
I think he was Psycho Sid at that point.
That's correct. Yes, a main event WrestleMania win there where he won the title. Back to Sal.
Shane McMahon.
Yeah, there you go. And back to Tom. We're running out here, Tom.
AJ Styles?
That's correct. Yes, the Boneyard match. Very, very recent one. His most recent one, I guess, because I don't think he's fighting this year. Back to you, Sal.
He is not. Ric Flair.
That is correct. Yes, I think the first time they actually acknowledged the streak. Tom, we have 2 left. Can you give me one of the 2 remaining?
Edge.
Edge is correct. Wow, very good. 1 left, Sal. Who is the one? Do you know?
The one is... Oh, crap. I'm
afraid your time
Big
is
Show.
up. Tom. Nope.
No, it wasn't.
He was
Big
part
Show.
of the tag team. We already got that one.
Yeah,
Tom, do you have the answer?
I'm gonna hate myself because I don't remember it.
Yep, that's okay. The only one you guys missed.
I just knew it. I
think
just figured it
Sal.
out.
Who was it?
It was Randy Orton.
It was Randy Orton. Exactly right. Yes, the only one.
Oh,
That was
such a good match.
I know. That was a really strong showing, you guys. That was fantastic. You both got the same number. But Now we're going to round 2. I just threw my paper away in case you couldn't hear that. In the history, now we'll start with you on this one, Tom. In the history of the Money in the Bank ladder match, 20 different people, just the men, not the women, 20 different people have won Money in the Bank. And this is not about the cash in, because sometimes they win the briefcase and somebody else cashed it in. This is about the people who climbed the ladder, picked up the briefcase, and won the Money in the Bank. So 20 different people have done that, and we'll start with you, Tom.
Edge.
Edge is correct. Yes, the first ever winner. And Sal, your turn.
John Cena.
John Cena is correct. Yes, and I think he was the first one who did not successfully cash in. Back to you, Tom.
Rob Van Dam.
That's right. Yes. Called his shot and I think beat Cena at one night only, or one night stand rather. And Sal.
Otis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to pretend that one didn't happen. Although so would WWE apparently. Back to Tom.
Mr. Kennedy.
Mr. Kennedy is correct. Yes. And he never got the cash in because I think he was injured or suspended, but he did win. You are correct. Back to Sal.
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins is correct. And I was there for that one. That was good. That was a really good one. That was Money in the Bank 2014 in Boston. I was there. Back to Tom.
Braun Strowman.
Yes. Monster in the Bank, I do believe. Back to Sal.
Even though he was not promoted in the match, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I was there for that one too. That was in Hartford. That was a pretty good show, actually. Yeah, that made no goddamn sense, but I was there for that. Back to Tom.
CM Punk.
Correct. The only person to do it twice, surprisingly enough. Still the only person to win twice. Back to Sal.
The Miz.
The Miz is correct. Yes. Yes, Miz cashed it in twice, but he technically only won it once. And I believe as of yesterday, he's no longer the champion, right, after he just cashed in. Anyway, back to Tom.
This one was hilarious because he couldn't bring down the briefcase. Jack Swagger.
Yeah, ooh, good pull. Yeah, I thought for sure no one was going to get that one. So, yes, Jack Swagger. And back to Sal.
Damian Sandow.
Yes, with the nice touch with the leather briefcase. Also unsuccessful at his cash-in. Back to Tom.
Daniel Bryan.
That's correct, yes.
That's right.
And once again, back to Sal.
Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose is correct. Did he cash in the same night?
Oh, yes, he did.
Yes.
I think he did, yeah. Tom, once again.
Del Rio.
Yes, very good call. I think he won by ripping off Ray's mask at the top of the ladder, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Sal.
No, we already said Daniel Bryan. But Baron Corbin.
Up. Oh, you got it a little after time was up, Sal. I'm sorry. That is correct, but I can't count it. I'll cross it off the list. But yes, Baron Corbin is correct. I'm going to give you 15 seconds, Tom, to name up to 3 more people, and I will start that now.
Kane.
Correct.
Miz.
Miz was already said. Yes, I'll stop you there.
Yeah.
But you did give me another one there. So the ones you missed, and you didn't miss many. Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, yeah.
I remember got the huge reaction the night after. Randy Orton again. What's up? You just blocking Randy Orton out, guys? Come on, what's up with that? I mean, geez. And then the only other one, but this, in fairness, this one was pretty forgettable. Sheamus. Yeah.
I was gonna say Sheamus too.
Oh gosh.
Always forgettable is.
I was
Sheamus.
gonna say Sheamus, but then I was like, no, he was King of the Ring. He wasn't Money in the Bank. No, he was actually.
He did. I think he did. He cashed in on Roman after Roman won the title the first time at Survivor Series, one of the Survivor Series.
Yeah, that happened. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So adding up your scores right here. So it looks like Sal, that round you have a total of 18 after Listomania, and Tom, looks like you got 9. You have a total of 20. So right now, Tom in the lead. Sal, you're in a familiar position, but you always seem to come from behind. So it is 20 to 18 at the moment. And of course, now we're going to go on to the free-for-all round. And Tom, you can start the free-for-all round. Of course, if you need a quick explanation, 4 rounds, 3 categories in each round. You'll pick one of the categories, and whichever 2 are not chosen get rolled over to the next episode. When you pick a category, you get the choice of answering questions worth 1, 2, or 3 points. The higher the points, the tougher the question. If you get it wrong, your opponent can attempt to steal for the same number of points. So I'm going to start off here with round 1, and your categories you can choose from, Tom, are 1 + 1 equals 2 zeros, where I give you the names of 2 wrestlers and you tell me which forgettable tag team they formed. After that, questions about Chris Benoit's toughest opponent, which is, of course, about Psychosis, the wrestler Psychosis. And the third category this week, Rock don't like the hurricane. Questions about the Rock's 2003 Hollywood heel run.
I think I'll go with 1 + 1 equals 2 zeros.
Okay, fair enough. Now, would you like a 1, 2, or 3 point question?
We'll go with the 2-pointer to start.
Okay, so I'll give you the 2 people and you tell me what tag team they formed. And for the 2-point question here, sorry, I almost just got a Zoom error. My apologies there. The 2-point question here, the tag team is Marcus Alexander Bagwell and the Patriots.
Oh, gosh. The U.S. Males.
It is not the U.S. Males. Sal, do you know the name of that tag team to steal?
Stars and Stripes.
Stars and Stripes is the correct answer. Yes, Stars and Stripes. I'll put 2 points there for Sal. And Sal, you get the next one. Do you want the 1 or the 3?
I'll take the 3.
Take the 3. Okay. For 3 points, Jim Powers and Paul Roma.
The Young Stallions.
Wow, very good. Okay. I thought that would be a forgettable tag team. Apparently not. Sal remembers the Young Stallions. And we'll go back to the 1 here for you, Tom. And the 1-pointer is the Barbarian and the Warlord.
Powers of Pain.
Powers of Pain is correct. Yes. Rip-off Road Warriors. So Sal, now is your chance to pick from the following categories here in round 2. Hell in Their Cells, about wrestlers who survived cancer. After that, You Gonna Be Joking Me, questions about Kamala. And of course, Taking a Break from Doing Lines, questions about actors who appeared in the WWE.
Oh, let's go with that one.
Okay. Now, do you want a 1, a 2, or a 3?
I'll take a 2.
A 2, okay. So Sal, in July of 2009, which actor from the Austin Powers franchise became the first in a series of celebrity guest hosts on Monday Night Raw?
Oh, Seth Green.
Seth Green is correct, yes. Very good. Tom, do you want the 1 or the 3 for the celebrity category?
I'll go with a 3.
There you go. Good call. So at SummerSlam 2015, what actor teamed with Neville to defeat Stardust and King Barrett?
Stephen Amell.
Steve, very good. All right. I keep thinking people will never remember these people's names, but you totally got it there. And so Sal, the 1-pointer goes back to you. In January of 95, what Star Trek actor appeared on Jerry Lawler's King's Court segment to plug his new show, Tech War?
William Shatner.
William Shatner is correct there for 1 point. All right. And now to round 3, Tom, you get to choose from these categories. Now, can you dig that? Questions about Paul Bearer. After that, we have When It Comes Crashing Down and It Hurts Inside, about injuries sustained by Hulk Hogan. And female wrestlers from Asia, about Asuka, who is Japanese, Xia Li, who is Chinese, and the Bella Twins, who used to be Siamese.
I'll go with the Can You Dig That?
Okay, perfect. Do you want the 1, 2, or 3?
2.
All right. So Paul Bearer's real-life death was used for storyline purposes in the build-up to The Undertaker's match at which WrestleMania?
That would be WrestleMania 29.
That is correct. WrestleMania 29. As I'm sure you knew that one, Sal, being the WrestleMania Salvation guy. Sal, do you want the 1 or the 3?
I regret this, but I'll take the 3.
All right. So maybe not. We'll see. So Sal, at the 2004 Great American Bash, The Undertaker buried Paul Bearer in cement after he won a handicap concrete crypt match against which tag team?
The Dudley Boys?
The Dudley Boys is correct, yes.
Wow.
Very good, very good.
That was our first episode.
I didn't even think of that. That's right. Yes, it was. Oh, my goodness. So it's a good thing because Tom certainly would have stolen that one. And Tom, you also get the 1 pointer here. So after 5.5 years of managing The Undertaker, Paul Bearer eventually turned on him at SummerSlam 96 and sided with which of Taker's rivals?
Mankind.
Mankind is correct, yes. All right. So going on to the final round of Three for All, round 4, Sal, you get to choose from these categories. The Murdering Hawk Monster, questions about Darren Drozdov, who attempted to murder Hawk. After that, the Three Faces of Failing, questions about Glenn Jacobs' gimmicks before he became Kane. And Painful Tug Jobs, questions about matches, which Fred Ottman lost. Tug Jobs. It's a thinking man's pun right there.
I think
no, it's not.
We're going to go with Three Faces.
Three Faces. Okay. Do you want the 1, the 2, or the 3?
The 2.
The 2. Okay. So Sal, during a brief stint in the USWA in late '92, Glenn Jacobs was given the gimmick of a creature who was named after what holiday?
Christmas?
That is correct. Yes, he was the Christmas creature. Christmas creature. Go look that up because he's dressed in like a big green suit. It's horrendous. Tom, do you want the 1 or the 3?
3.
All right. So Tom, Glenn Jacobs' first match as Isaac Yankem DDS was in a losing effort to Bret Hart at what? Let me back that up. His first WWF match, not his first match. His first WWF match as Isaac Yankem was in a losing effort to Bret Hart at which pay-per-view?
SummerSlam.
Which year?
94.
Oh, that is incorrect. Sal, are you able to steal?
95.
95 is correct. Yes. I needed the actual year for the 3-pointer. I can't just take it easy on you.
Right.
Need the full info.
Right.
No problem though. And so I guess it goes back to Sal now because you picked the category. So Sal, the 1-pointer. In September of '96, who was responsible for bringing in Glenn Jacobs to portray Fake Diesel?
Jim Ross.
Jim Ross is correct. Yes.
And we never forgave him for it.
No, we did not. So let's see. I'm going to total up the points here after Three for All. 7. Okay. So your total points after Three for All. Sal, you now have 35 total points, and Tom, you have 27. So we have an 8-point difference, and we're going to the final round. And I will point out, though, obviously, Sal, you have trailed in every final round going in so far. So, Tom, all hope is not lost, just so you know. Sal is the comeback kid, but now he's in a different position, so we'll see how it goes. So your final category here, the final round, I'll just explain how it works. In the final round, in your Zoom screens, what I'm going to need you to do is change your chat settings from everyone to just me. You'll see at the bottom in the front and center, it says chat. Change those chat settings from everyone at the bottom so your answer only will come just to me. And once you do that, the reason I'm asking you to do that is because you're going to privately chat me how many points you're willing to wager on the final question. You can wager any or all of the points. Again, Sal, you have 35, and Tom, you have 27. So if you will chat those to me, but I will first tell you what the category is. The final category is the Survivor Series. So depending on how confident you are, place your wagers now, and we'll go from there. All right. I have Tom's wager, and Sal, now I have yours as well. Okay. Thank you for that. So you both locked in your wagers, and now you are going to have 30 seconds to chat me your answer. So I want to make sure I get my little timer queued up here. 30 seconds to chat me your answer. Again, don't say it out loud. Just chat it directly to me. Again, privately, make sure the settings are so it only comes to me. So I will see it and nobody else. So again, make sure those chat settings are there. Now, the final question, I will start the 30-second clock as soon as I finish reading it. From 1994 to 1999, the WWF title changed hands at 6 straight Survivor Series. I need you to chat me the names of 3 of the 6 wrestlers who won the WWF title at a Survivor Series during that span. Again, Survivor Series 94 to Survivor Series 1999. So I'm going to start the clock, and you will have to name 3 of those people. All right, I am going to stop the clock there because you both got your answers in with plenty of time to spare. Of course you did. Of course you did. I always feel like these final questions are trickier than they are. So what I'm going to do, first I'll just tell you the answers. In 1994, Bob Backlund beat Bret Hart. 1995, Bret Hart beat Diesel. 1996, Sid beat Shawn Michaels. 1997, Shawn Michaels beat Bret Hart. You might remember that one, the 97 Survivor Series. 1998, The Rock won the Deadly Game tournament, last defeating Mankind. And 1999, somehow, The Big Show won the title. And I'm going to first start with Tom. So Tom, you chatted me Shawn Michaels, The Rock, and Bob Backlund. All 3 of those answers are indeed correct. So you will double your score going up to 54 because you bet all of it. So you go up to 54 there. And Sal, funny enough, I believe you chatted the exact same answers that Tom did. Bob Backlund, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, and Sal, you bet 28 points, which will take you up to 63 points. That's a new record for the show. You beat your own record there, Sal. Congratulations. So the final score, Sal, again, man, this is an unbelievable run you're on here, Sal. 63 to 54. Sal, you have won the game. But once again, I have to say, Tom, much like when we had our challenger on last week, Carl Bryan, very, very impressive showing there as well. So nothing, certainly hold your head up high is what I'm saying, because that was really fantastic. I mean, I think actually you got 54 points, and I think that would have been the record so far on the show if not for Sal winning there. So thank you both very much for playing. Again, what a streak we got going on here, Sal. This is fantastic. So Tom, I'm going to let you once again plug Stranger Rings or plug anything else if you want to, and the floor is yours.
Wanted to say shout out to Sal. That was a great game, man. I knew you were going to be tough to beat. I'm just one of the victims of the streak now, so I'll just accept it and move on. But
it's fitting that was the Wistomania category this week.
So hopefully I'm not the Randy Orton and we forget about it. But
no.
Check us out on Twitter at Stranger Rings 1. Every other social media I think is Stranger Rings Pod. We also have Stranger Rings Podcast on YouTube, where we just dropped the Maddie Rankowski interview. So everybody go check that out. And thank you for having me on. I would love to be on again.
We'd love to have you again. Or if Corey wants to come on sometime too, he can add his name to the queue. Yeah, but yes, I mean, that was fantastic. So absolutely, I'd love to have you on as well another time for sure. Everybody has been a really, really strong player so far. It's just that Sal, what can I say, man? You're killing it. I swear, it's funny because at the top of the show, Sal, you said you're covering Survivor Series 94. And I was looking at the final category and I was like, oh, this is about Survivor Series 94. So I promise I'm not rigging the game in Sal's favor. Sal is obviously a very strong player. So on that note, Sal, would you like to take another victory lap before we leave?
Tom, thank you so much. You were amazing, brother. I'm definitely going to subscribe to the Stranger Rings podcast and give that a listen because it sounds like a lot of fun. Henry, you did it again. You brought questions that I completely had no idea, some of them completely out of left field, and you challenged me like nothing else. So it was amazing. I was very fortunate to come out and talk.
Yes. Well, thank you again for showing up. And also, again, not to go back to Stranger Rings like you said there, Sal, but that Maddie Rankowski interview, really, please do check it out because, I mean, if you don't mind my asking, how did you just like reach out to her on Twitter or something like that, and she was willing to come on, or?
Yeah, Corey reached out to her on Twitter and then he called me. He's like, dude, I just got us our first interview. And I was like, oh, I'm like hoping, okay, is it somebody I've heard of and mentioned it? And I'm like, this is perfect. And she was just a fantastic guest. And so,
awesome.
Like I said, it worked out. So,
yeah, again, the timing was literally perfect because I think she was in the tournament, but I think she also just got her first ever win I think on Dark as well. So yeah, I mean, you're really, you struck while the iron was hot there, because I think, going by how much personality she showed there, and in the interview, being so captivating, I think potentially she could be someone we see for a while. Hopefully, knock on wood, we'll see. But yeah, that was a great interview. Be sure to check that out. Sal, again, be sure to subscribe to Stranger Rings. Tom, if you haven't already, subscribe to the Rundown and subscribe to the Raw Attitude podcast, please, because
I'm checking it out for sure. The Raw Attitude, I've dipped my toes in the water there and enjoyed it. But Sal, I'm gonna have to, after the beating you just gave me, I got to check out your stuff now.
Yeah, check out the Rundown, man. Funny enough, a long time ago, we had a host that sounded a lot like Henry. I don't know what happened to him. He died though, but definitely check us out. We have a show for every one of your tastes.
Absolutely. Definitely check out the Rundown. I would say check out the Raw Attitude podcast, but we've kind of been on hiatus. But still, we have 80 back episodes to choose from.
Yeah, go through the back catalog.
Yeah, absolutely. It's re-listenable. I think so. I put a lot of effort into it, so listen to it. But yeah, once again, thank you, Tom, for coming on. Thank you again, Sal, for being a very, very strong champion. I don't know who's going to take you down, but I guess we'll find out next time. So thank you very much to both of you. Thank you, everyone, for watching the Wrestling Trivia Challenge, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.